Welcome. When you last joined us, 3 unassuming heroes set off on a journey in secret, under the stars of a world called Synthara. Little do they know, among those stars drifts an adventuring party of a different sort. A ship of cosmic travelers in the midst of their own covert mission, unaware that the land of Synthara is about to change their course forever. And so, for a second time, let us start anew. Let us peer into the lives of 3 more heroes before they experience all the danger, the drama, and the destiny that comes with catching the eye of fate. Buckle up, travelers. It's about to get choppy as we get into all of that rigamaroll. In the far reaches of the Nebuline galaxy, above the sleeping world of Synthara, a lone starship drifts in the halo of its upper atmosphere. Its name, the Audacity. From orbit, Synthara looks alive. Through clouds, vast rivulets of teal and violet clouds shimmer in the light of the nearby sun, Kester. To look at her, the Audacity isn't beautiful in the traditional sense. She's earned every plate, every nut, every bolt, every worn patch tells the story of escape, re-entry, survival. Far from a bucket of bolts, she is strong and nimble. Inside the Audacity, the hum of the engine echoes through the hallways. Dim amber lights hang on the steel walls. Conduit and piping run through the stark corridors connecting sleeping quarters, the galley, the engine room, the cargo bay, and other various nooks and crannies. Ventilation abounds. In the bridge and throughout the vessel, the crew moves in a rhythm that only a crew can that has seen many skies together. And as we continue our way into the ship, we come into the largest of the sleeping quarters, where a young woman has just awoken from a fitful night of sleep. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I would love nothing more. Princess Rho'Thera opens her eyes, wipes the sweat from her brow, bolts upright. It's still unfamiliar. Even after we've been traveling for a while now, she looks around the large quarters that once belonged to Captain Fray, who surely is making his rounds on the ship somewhere at this point, but that's not what Rho'Thera is concerned with. She stands up, stretches, long red hair kind of scattered about. She brushes back, ties up quickly, and slips into combat forms like she has every morning of every day of her life. Eyes closed, hair starts to float around her as if she's underwater, but she is not meditating. Her arms swoop out. She feels for her sword that she keeps right next to her bedside, and as she draws it, nobody is here to witness this, but it is a blend of elegance and brutality. As the sword in her hand, you can't see the blade, but there's a shimmer of violet as if it dances right on the edge of the visible spectrum, and she begins to run through her forms, motes of psionic energy beginning to circle her defensively. As she goes 1, 2, 3, there's a deep count as she falls into this rhythmic, almost trance-like state, but always, always in motion.
As you do that, and like you said, something you've done for so long, you fall into a rhythm of it, a bit of challenging yourself, but also a familiarity there. As you continue about 5 minutes into it, all of a sudden there is a psionic blast that comes into your head.
Sword clatters to the ground.
You are taken aback. You sense the screaming of thousands. You feel like you are taken back in time and forward in time. Everything mentally, you see small red flecks. As it happens, you start to bleed from your eye. It feels the pressure as if you've been too far, too long underwater. It feels like your eardrums are about to pop. There is a ringing, there is a tense pressure on your head and a loud, tinny.
I think I shake my head. Stop, stop, stop!
Still goes. And then it's gone, almost as quickly as it came. But your eyes still bleeding tears.
I stumble my way to the bathroom mirror and look in it. I can't believe it's real until I see the tracks of red coming down like tears. I run the tab, my hands are shaking. Wiping as fast as I can. I try to erase the signs of what I just felt. It can't be. It can't. I stumble across, hastily put on my outerwear. I grab my sword where it fell on the ground, look at it. Sheath it. I need to find them. I need to warn them.
Are you familiar with what has happened? Like what is your experience of this? Tell me, what are you thinking right now? What do you know what this is? Have you experienced it before, or?
I think I do. I haven't experienced it before, but I think I do. It's like seeing, like stories of the big bad wolf that your mother and your grandmother and everyone who's ever come before you has told you. You will know the howl of the wolf. Even if you've never heard it before, I think I've heard it now. I believe this is the affliction. I know it to be terrifying. But this is worse than anything I've ever experienced. But I need to know for sure, because it can't be. It's gone. It's gone. It's supposed to be gone. This is supposed to be a story that they tell you as a lesson, not a warning.
And as you kind of are at the looking at yourself in the mirror, having just taken these breaths, a little, you've tried your best to clear, but a little more blood comes down and drips into the sink, the metal sink that's there. And as that drips down, we cut to, elsewhere in the ship, another dripping of a green, steaming liquid that falls into a rather large stone mug. It's finished. The mug is full of this green, steaming liquid, and a large, hairy hand reaches out and grabs the mug. And we start to follow this large, he looks for all intents and purposes like a gorilla. He is, but he's dressed in kind of the what a space traveler, cosmic traveler would wear in the Nebulan galaxy. He's and he's just like, he takes a sip. Good. And he's just like walking through these stark halls. And as he continues to walk, we follow him past different steel doors going to different areas, and he comes up some stairs that are lit kind of with neon underneath. He's walking through, and he comes out onto the bridge of the Audacity. And as he comes up, we see a magnificent viewport, and we see Casimir, the sun, and different stars. It's sparse here, the starlight. There's a lot of darkness. And to the bottom, we can just see Synthara. And as he comes in, he moves to the front of the bridge, and to the left is kind of his station, a very well-worn seat. He puts his mug in a little holder, and as he turns it, we see that the mug says #1 pilot on it. And he's got all of his, there are a lot of different lights and different informational readings coming out to him. And across the way, there is a somewhat regal in the way she carries herself. Blue-skinned. She's a Lazille. Beautiful woman. But her beauty is not like the Audacity in many ways. Her beauty is earned. She is tough as nails, and you can see in her face it's careworn and lovely, but her hair is come down. She's got it kind of tied up in a half up, half down, a tight knot. She has a large plasma rifle that is with her. She has a very form-fitting uniform that she wears, and she is sitting in just a seat nearby on the ship, and she says, "Oh, did you not get any for anyone else?" to Thrasher. He goes,
I didn't know I was taking any orders from anyone. Sorry.
and he drinks it, and she goes, "Always thinking of yourself." And she's just kind of like looking at her nails, kind of picking at them. And she goes, "Are we on course?" We look over and we see, would you like to introduce yourself?
Gene 3, an agronoid, the third model of the same K-core, that is, the spirit, the soul that powers an agronoid, stands at roughly 6'2" and 3/4 tall. staring out into the wide expanse that is the sea, not necessarily as someone raptured by the beauty of it, but someone occupied with knowing every little detail, whereas humans and other mortal races might see a brilliant sea of stars. Gene 3 sees plot points and direction and lines and the waves of cosmic energy. So he stands there, and without turning his head, he's been following along with this conversation the entire time. He lets them know. Currently, we are 21 cycles into our pursuit on the way to Gentera, which means we have 45 left to go.
Does that answer your question, Kip?
Very well. Jean, she comes to you and she says, I need some help. I put in a request from you about 10 cycles ago. The temperature in my quarters is not right. It is too hot. I need it colder. Can you get on that, or how do I move my request up the chain?
Gene turns his metallic head, his body moving without wasting any energy or space. You understand what Gene stands for?
I do not. Remind me.
Engineering and navigation. Those are the middle E and N. That does not include temperature control. If you would like help with that, consult the thermostat.
No, the thermostat is broken. I need you to engineer it to work.
I believe that would constitute a use of my free time. Captain Fray, do I have any?
We look over, and in the middle, Thresher said, "Good morning, Captain." And he comes onto the bridge, and you turned and said, it's like perfect timing. He comes in, and everybody kind of turns and just nods to you. And would you care to introduce yourself?
Sure. Captain Fray comes on the bridge. He's got his own cup of standard coffee, not the green stuff that Thresher's drinking. And he kind of looks around the room at everybody. He is well put together. All of his clothes are not quite a uniform, but they might as well be, with the exception of his hair, which is always a mess. Just absolute bedhead at 100% of the time. And I look around the bridge and I kind of clock what's going on. I heard a little bit of the conversation, and I approach it indirectly. I say, next time each of you complains that a mission is too dangerous, I want you to think back to this moment and listen to what you're arguing about. Thermostats and coffee. You see how far we are from the Cosmocore?
It is true. I would not want to be back there for all the Mincha in Blaffer's land. She kind of laughs. But still, Captain, it is something that needs to be addressed.
I look at Jean. I say, Jean, why are you giving her a hard time about the thermostat? It's going to take you 8 seconds.
I don't think so. I think it'll take me 9. However, I suppose in a cosmic sense, you're correct.
In a cosmic sense.
Whenever you have your free time, Jean. Thank you.
I'll pencil it in.
Thresher drinks his from his mug.
Morning, Captain. All systems look good.
That's good. Glad to hear it, Thresher.
We are going to be here for a little longer as the engine drive continues to recharge from Casimir and the planet below. Not sure the name. Gene would know that.
Gene, what is the name of the planet we're near right now?
The planet that we are above is Synthara.
Synthara. Sounds just as uninteresting as we wanted. Thresher, how long until the K drive's ready to get us out of here?
Probably be another 2 cycles.
2 cycles. We can wait 2 cycles. All right, run your checks, do your jobs. You guys know where to find me. I sit down on the chair in the bridge and I just kind of look out.
Mm-hmm. And as you do that, the captain is in the middle, looking out on the viewport. Kip is kind of looking at her nails and holding her pulse rifle that never really leaves her side to the side. Thresher is just drinking his green brew at his console. And Jean is at the navigation console to the upper right of the ship. And there's all sorts of instrumentation throughout the bridge. There are different lights and things that alert you to any potential hazards or upcoming things. There's all sorts of different, bric-a-brac that would be on a bridge of a ship. And as you continue to look out and you see Synthara below you, you're drifting in this orbit to charge the drive. And so it's not a, work-heavy kind of event. All of a sudden, in the midst of this calm, Princess Rho'Thera comes into the bridge.
The first thing that probably strikes you is the haste with which she moves onto the bridge. Normally, her step is unhurried, and why would it be? But this time, her hair is askew, what would normally be well coiffed, tied back practically, just generally like a very properly kept person has just like a storm scrambled over like uneven of gait, which it's highly unusual for her. And she stumbles through the doors onto the bridge. Excuse me, Captain? Captain Fray.
Captain turns around and I look back. Yes, Princess?
I formulated a quick list of priorities on the way here. First thing first, where are we? What's that? What's that? And I'm pointing out over the broad window down to where the planet is.
Well, that right there is a place called Synthara, but it might as well just be empty space. Why?
I'm going to need you to believe the next 3 ridiculous things I say. I sensed something very disturbing that I believe I need to get eyes on as soon as humanly possible. If it would be at all possible to go and scan or investigate, that would be ideal. Second thing is, what means of communication do we have on the ship? I'd like to get a message to my father, to anyone really within my family, as soon as possible. And the third is that I may have, there may be a few more holes in the ceiling of your room. As of my interrupted training exercise this morning, you will have to forgive those, and that's last on the priority list, I'm sorry.
Okay. I take all this in for a second, kind of throw glances at each of the crew in turn. What am I picking up on from Kip? Kip is always who I'm going to go to.
Kip is very dubious. She thinks, why is she wanting to go to the planet or understand something about this random planet in this galaxy? What, a reading? What, I don't understand.
Well, I am sorry, Kip, but I don't know quite how to facilitate the understanding that I received, a spike. Psionically, something terrible is happening, and I don't know what it is, but I think it is in all of our best interest to find out.
And you think
Quickly.
It's happening on Synthara?
I believe that's where it's coming from.
It doesn't cost us anything to do a couple quick scans. Jean, what can you run about this planet below us?
Good morning to you too, Princess.
Good morning, Jean.
First of all, I would like it to be noted that according to intergalactic research, Synthara is uninhabited. But I can run a scan if you really want me to.
If it's not going to hurt our K-drive recharge time, is it, Thresher?
No. Recharging should commence as
Okay,
usual.
let's humor the young lady.
Jean plugs the scanning protocol into his computer, reluctantly.
You might see as Jean is doing this, there are Rho'Thera kind of unfurls her hand a bit, clenching and reclenching it. There are just deep, jagged half moons dug into her palm where her hand has been clenched into a fist.
Jean, as I place my 3 fear up here to kind of continue our story since there are 3 of you. Give me an instinct roll. So 2d12s, and tell me what the total is with hope or with fear.
I'm guessing hope and fear.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I got a 15 with fear.
15 with fear. Okay. So you are able to, your readings, they come back and there are definite energy spikes. Things are going on, but the way you're reading them, it's like there's a line going across and some very erratically and others just kind of popping on the screen. And it's very difficult for you to interpret that to mean anything. However, there is some sort of energy reading that you're getting from the planet, and it's vague, but something is down there.
Well,
As you look over his shoulders, there's clearly lights and displays going on the console, but Gene doesn't really move too much. He goes, And he's not known to pause, so it's clear that he's reluctant to say anything.
What do you see, Gene? Not used to hearing you make that noise.
I learned it from you.
Fair.
Well, as it appears, the princess may have felt something.
Something.
I am getting energy readings from the planet below. However, that could be anything.
Anything, but not uninhabited.
It varies. This machine reads energy of all sorts. It could be geological movements. It could be cosmological movement. It could be inhabited life forms. Yes, that is one of the options.
Thank you, Jean. Captain? Permission to investigate?
I'm going to spend a fear as Thresher and say,
We don't need to be going and investigating this planet. We're jeopardizing the whole mission. We're jeopardizing the money. We need to get this cargo.
he nods to you and smiles a little bit.
Yes, good morning to you as well, Thresher.
Good morning.
He picks up his brew and gives it to you.
I could brew you a cup of my green.
No, quite all right.
You
Cargo
don't mind.
doesn't drink coffee.
Okay. Pardon, but I think we must stay on course. This is highly irregular, taking us out of what we need to be doing.
Princess, you're asking me to take a ship and investigate what could be a volcano erupting. It could be a sandstorm. It could be just electronic noise.
And if it is, then fantastic. Then we'll know, but I need to know.
Fantastic, but we just wasted a cycle or two of the K-drive charging, and then we get to your place longer than we needed to, and your father gets angry, who we can't contact, by the way, because he gave us explicit instructions not to do that, because the whole point of this is that nobody finds you. So if there is anybody on that planet, I don't want them finding you either.
First things first. Whatever mission priority we have, getting me home safely, I would like to override. And I understand that you're taking orders from my father, but I think what I would like to relay to him is that I found something that takes precedence over that, and surely you must know. I believe that my safety is one of the highest priorities of my empire. Would you agree?
Okay.
I believe that what I would like to investigate takes priority even over that. Over that. Do you understand the gravity of what I'm trying to tell you? The last time I got this feeling, and mind you, it was a fraction of this intensity, I narrowly thwarted a murder. And I will not be elaborating on that today. Something is happening. We need to know what it is. I will take responsibility if we're late coming back.
I'm going to spend another fear, and then Kip's going to weigh in and say, Captain, I sympathize and understand your passion, but
Really? We are going to a random planet just because someone said that they felt a little something? She already is kind of, special.
She's also right here. Pardon me, Kip.
I need to protect the captain. I need to protect the ship. You are putting us in possible harm's way. For what reward? So that you can understand why you had some mind feeling? I just don't think it's worth it.
I put up my hand a little bit, and I'm like, okay, all right, guys, look. Either there's something dangerous on this planet, or there's nothing on this planet. We can't have it both ways. So are we scared of going down to this planet because it's dangerous, or because there's nothing there anyway and are wasting our time?
Thresher says,
I'm not scared, Captain, except for showing up without the cargo and not getting the money.
If money and rewards are what you're concerned about, then consider it taken care of.
he sips his drink.
Imagine this, we come back late. They ask why we've been delayed by a few cycles. And I regale them all, the royal court and everyone who you might consider of influence, of the entirely heroic efforts of this crew. That at my behest, we went and investigated a distress signal. Perhaps it was nothing, or perhaps it was everything. And it will be all of your responsibility and honor to accept that you are now heroes of the Empire. Welcome.
I do like Heroes of Empire. It sounds rather...
That's the first time I've seen Kip smile.
She does paint a pretty picture. Gene, can you do a little bit of math for me? I want to know how long it's going to take us to just punch Atmo, stay above the surface, take a closer scan. Let's get through this atmospheric noise or whatever this is, so at least we can know one way or another. If we get down through the atmosphere, we see nothing, turn right back around, come back, and charge a K drive. How long is that going to cost us?
A rudimentary scouting like that would only take half a cycle.
Half a cycle. So instead of 2 cycles getting out of here, it's 2.5 cycles.
Correct.
I don't like it. But I do like money.
And then Kip says, when you put it that way, half a cycle, maybe we can break through the cloud cover and just see? Maybe? I don't know what we will find there. I don't know what she is looking for. It is very vague, and it makes me feel uneasy.
Consider us both uneasy, but whatever we find, consider it that I'll sing your praises either way. Half a cycle for a significant payday, gentlemen. I don't imagine you have many offers of that sort.
I am no gentleman.
And lady, present company excluded. Now, are you certain we can't get any sort of messaging out? I understand the secrecy of our position, but like you said, and I'm thinking for all of us here, if there is something dangerous, perhaps it wouldn't hurt to notify someone you trust that there was something that we wanted to see.
Can I send a back channel message to Jenterian?
You can send it, but you don't know. Actually, give me a roll. Okay.
Crit.
Okay.
First roll.
First
One shot,
roll.
one kill.
I love it. Love it. So yes, you can send a message. You do not know if it will arrive. There is no check bot. There's no way to know. So you can send a message. You won't know if it's received, and there are also Zilbaraks in the area that could intercept the message. So you would know with that roll that it is definitely of more consequence negatively than positive.
So huge risk to send the message.
It is a huge risk to send the message. You know that you would possibly even, it would not be in your best interest to send it. It would possibly alert people to her
regardless of what it says, like just a signal coming out of the ship is the bad part, or are we worried about it getting
The
intercepted?
ship would get pinged.
Got it.
They would have certain, instrumentation that could pick up on a communication coming from. You all are in very deep space. You've gone far out of where there's conflict and different things like that in order to take the princess in a safe route. So sending this message would alert people to your presence here, her presence here, and it would pretty assuredly be investigated. You know that.
Okay. So I turn to the princess. Listen, princess, I'm sorry. Number one priority is getting you someplace and not getting us blown up by Zilberax. I can't send a message, but I can send this ship through the clouds. Is that enough?
It's enough for me. In and out. I just need to know what's happening.
Sorry, I just want to remind you to gain a hope
Got it.
and clear stress if you have one. I don't think you do, but
There's no stress.
you get it.
All of it's over here.
Okay, so where are we at now? Is this, everybody on the team kind of looks at each other? Jean has an affirmative. Thresher, he's a bit resigned. You can sense trepidation there. Kip holding her pulse rifle, she lovingly calls Papa, which you know, and you've seen a lot with Kip. You would be closest to Kip, and she just looks at you and gives you one of those looks that only people who have seen dogfights know, as in, you are the captain. And she says it, you are the captain. You know this. I will follow you wherever. I do have uneasy feeling, but I will support whatever you do, and we will have the gunpowder we need.
Give her a good nod. I say, all right, everyone, this is our choice. Either we spend half a cycle and investigate this, or we spend the rest of our cycles with a nervous princess running under the bridge telling us about her dreams. Princess,
He's not wrong.
you get one.
I'm happy for this to be the one. Thank you, all of you. I promise I will make it worth your while.
Okay.
Entering atmosphere, Captain.
Buckle up, group.
Thresher starts to push down. We feel the ship tilt, and we will see what happens after this break.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay.
Here we go.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst? Everything will be fine.
It's a volcano.
It's a volcano.
We're just gonna see a volcano.
Hey there, Rigamarollers. GM Matt here. Now, I have to give some love to Side Quest Concepts for custom making our show's GM screen. Now, I've always seen fancy wood screens with all the cool magnets and slots to place markers in, and working with John to make our dream GM screen come true was, it was a dream come true. He's not only an incredible woodworker, but he's also a massive tabletop fan. So it's like working with someone who actually gets what it is you need at the table. If you're in the market for your dream GM screen, then go check out Side Quest Concepts on Etsy.
Ordered for Thresher. Thresher, your order's ready. I have a green brew for Thresher. Thresher, your order.
Welcome back. So the ship Audacity is now pointed toward, the nose is pointed toward the planet of Synthara and is slowly beginning a descent. It was in the upper atmosphere and now it's starting to descend into the atmosphere. Captain, do you have any last checks or anything you need to say?
Any last words?
I only have two.
Yeah. I think, you know, I've seen this 100 times. Broken 1,000 Atmos. This is so SOP, standard operating procedure for me and the crew. But I have the boldface checklist that I'm gonna go through, so I'm looking at Thresher and saying, Thresher, all checks.
All checks clear, Captain.
Gene, all checks.
We are coming out of nosedive, breaking through the atmosphere in T-minus 10.
You could just say 10 seconds next time, Gene.
Okay, in 7 seconds.
Captain, out of an abundance of caution, I will go to the gunnery turret.
Where you are most at home. By all means, Kip.
So Kip, kind of towards the side of the bridge, there's a little hatch, which she kind of opens and goes down and mans kind of a, just in case, like a gunnery system for shooting things. Okay, you continue to go down. As you start to enter the atmosphere, there are some shakes and general things like that. Things tend to heat up. There's certain alerts that happen on your console, Gene. Thresher's, manning. He's, manning the throttle and, the yaw and all that kind of stuff. Well, as you continue to descend, you're getting closer. It shakes a little more. There's like a conduit that breaks, Gene, like right above you. And you should probably fix it. Give me a roll real quick. Give me a knowledge roll.
Okay. That is that's a crit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, hell yes!
This game is
That's
easy.
amazing.
This game is so easy.
Piece of cake.
Critical.
We can go home.
So incredible. So you gain a hope and can clear any stress that you may have that I was going to give you to go over, and you're just immediately able to. You have some extra, and tell me how you do it.
You just Gene. It breaks. Gene, without looking away from his console, puts his finger up and plugs it. The crew looks, ambiguous. But then a small tape dispenser comes out and wraps itself around it. It's electrical tape, and then it goes back to it.
Incredible. Okay, so as that you continue to go. Thresher's like,
Unbelievable.
You're starting to go down. You're coming towards the clouds. It's getting a little. It's shaking. There's more alerts and things like that. In the viewfinder now, you're coming out of the black of space, and you're sinking down. And the cloud cover, which was teal and violet violet translucency. Kind of, you come through it. You're coming down, and as you continue your descent, Jean, the energy readings that you are getting are much more intense, and even now, visually, through the clouds, you are all able to. Oh, and I should say, Princess, you are buckled back
in, but leaned forward so far, trying to see out, just trying to open my sense as far as it can go, looking for anything, signs of anything. I see the red flecks from my vision dancing at the back of my, imprinted, too bright of a light in the back of my vision as I lean forward and concentrate.
That's great. That's awesome. Okay, so you continue to go. Captain, you see arcing beams, and some are from under where the ship is. There are what look like different colors of laser, and then from in front of the ship, coming back at it, would seem like a lightning almost, or it's arcing through, and as you continue your descent, the hull of the ship continues to really face some stress here as it enters the atmosphere. And you come down, and as you enter, as you come below the cloud cover, you see in front of you and to the left and right through the viewport, you see platforms that are being held aloft by balloons, what you can imagine as fabric balloons with rope. They are made of wood and a little bit of metal. Very rudimentary platforms swaying in the air. You've come down under the clouds into and amongst them, and you can't make out much, but you see things coming from them, shots being fired. You would know it. Yes, the platforms are all of their fire would be shooting at, and as you continue to go down, you can see a large stone black tower with holes in the tower, and every now and then you see toward the Audacity, and indeed toward these platforms. You can tell this is definitely you have come into the fray, to put too fine a point on it.
Clark, taking all of this in, does any of it look Zilberaxian? Is that the term?
Zilberaxian is a term. This does not at all to you. Look, Zilberaxian. Wish I would have asked for a roll then. I'm learning.
I got that for free. Okay.
But no, it does not. But there is indeed, this is an attack back and forth. You've entered what seems to be a battle. What would you want to do, or what do you see from your perspective?
I mean, I know war when I see it. Immediately, I turn to Thresher. I say, bank 90 degrees left now.
Banking, Captain.
He starts to try and push, but you're in the air with all of these other platforms. And as he's trying to navigate, all of a sudden, the Audacity gets hit. You can actually see the shot come from the tower. It is a shock. It hits the front of the ship and goes electric through the viewport, through some of the circuitry. Jean, you can tell a small fire breaks out over here as some electrical sparks come down, and just you want to probably get on that. Okay, give me a roll real quick. Give me a instinct. What did it do?
Got another crit.
We won!
This is
we won
you won Daggerheart.
Turns out duality die are just one-sided.
So true.
That's crazy.
This is fun.
Quantum entanglement.
Okay, with that roll, tell me how you're able to put out this fire.
Where did you find him? He's amazing.
Gene 3, as per his contract, gets paid just like any other member of the crew. But being an agronoid, a completely mechanical body, he doesn't require food or drink or anything like that. So he spends his money on a variety of upgrades. That includes fingers with not only a tape dispenser, but a fire extinguisher, a welding torch, and tape.
In maybe 5 seconds, you see Gene has completely put out this fire that was,
We just took like a turret hit and he just went, didn't even look. It's like made a few finger guns and it's like, we're good.
He's doing his job. What's Thresher doing?
he's doing his job. Thresher's,
Nice one.
and he's like pushing against it. You hear, you all hear, but to you from below, Captain, we have been fired upon. Shall I return fire?
Do I have any idea where the fire came from? Or like,
You do. You actually
that's that
saw
black
it.
tower, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want to return fire. I don't want to get involved in this any more than I already am.
You shot that to her?
Yeah, I said, hold your fire, we're getting out of here.
Okay.
Thresher, why can you not move those controls? What is the point of you having those big area ape arms if you can't push anything?
1 minute, Captain.
He takes his other foot up and puts it on another device and is just trying to basically manhandle the Audacity. And he's able to. It turns a little bit. As it does, you see again through the viewport, though now it's to the far right of it because you've adjusted a little, you are hit again. And
Captain, far be it from me to question your authority, but if we're taking 2 direct hits, I think they're aiming for us.
I concur.
I concur as well! She's down in the gunner thing. She's like,
And the first
please release me, let me shoot them!
Do I have any idea where I might even aim this guy? It's a big giant black tower, right?
Give me a roll of instinct.
I was
I was
waiting for it.
It's a 15 with hope.
A 15 with hope. Okay, take that hope. And a 15 actually does well. You can tell that from both of these windows.
16 with hope. I forgot to add my instinct.
16 with hope. Okay, it was 15 or more. So great. You can tell that it's the beams of arcing electric whatever that's damaging the ship, hitting the ship, also going at these kind of floating platforms that are all kind of going toward it, are coming from 2 or 3 windows that are in the top of this black obelisk kind of tower. So you would know that that's where it's coming from.
Okay. So I shout down to Kip, give him a window cleaning, Kip.
Aye, aye, Captain. Okay. So Kip fires, and you see 2 massive, like purple pink blasts go to the tower, and one side of the tower kind of gets hit, and debris kind of fires. As she does that, another beam comes from the tower. And it's, but this one, instead of hitting you, it hits you and it holds you. And so Thresher's like,
Captain, something's wrong.
and like the whole Audacity is starting to move. You're moving through these platforms with the balloons, and you can see the firing is still happening, and even way, way, way down on the ground, you see other firing happening. Everyone is advancing on this black tower, and yet you and the ship are all being kind of pulled toward it now. And Kip says, Captain, I must fire again!
Let loose, Kip.
Okay.
We're getting sucked in?
I don't know what's happening, Princess.
Okay, so she goes, and she shoots 4 concussive blasts, and she hits it, and then on the left side where it was the right, another chunk kind of goes out of the tower. Now 2 of the windows are gone, and only 1, and it has broken the like almost kind of tractor beam that was kind of pulling you in. So that's been broken. In that moment, Thresher tries to put on the works to kind of like turn and burn, and right as he does that, a different kind of beam, a green one, comes directly out and hits the ship. As it does so, gravitation is lost. So the ship is like hit very badly. And there are some thrusters and secondary engine units, but you've been charging the K drive, and so you don't have full use of the ship, and this has severely incapacitated it. And Thresher's like, Captain, I'm losing her! And then you kind of start banking down. You're still in that trajectory toward the tower, and you get close and closer. Is there anything you want to do or say?
Do I look like I'm on a collision course with it?
Yes.
So I'm gonna call out to Kip. I'm gonna say, Kip, I need you to shave that tower off now.
Okay. She's trying to shoot, and they're just going awry. And right then, just hit the tower. You hit it like you hit it probably, I want to say 30 yards below the top of it, but there's like, 100 below. And so you hit the tower, and it completely like all of a sudden, like all of these alerts are going, sirens, things you can smell, ozone, it's shaking. You can feel it in your chest. Your blood is quaking, and you have like hit this thing. And now you are going down the extra thrusters. Thresher's hitting them. Give me your roll.
One more crit.
One more, come on.
Get it.
That will be that's going to be an agility roll.
Agility. Oh, that is a 9 with fear.
Okay. With that roll, you as you hit the tower, you lift up, and as everything else in the ship, debris, things are hovering off the ground, everything's tumultuous. You're locked in, you're not sure what's going on down there with Kip, and then you like fall over,
Yeah.
and you go ahead.
Oh, if there's anything I can do since I'm strapped in, I'm gonna try my best to stabilize as many people in this cabin as possible as we're rolling around. Like kinetically, I'm just gonna try and hold firm to the ground. I know gravitation is lost. I'm gonna do everything I can to hold people in place.
That's awesome. Give me a roll.
Oh boy, first roll for me.
Give me a instinct roll.
Okay. 8, 6, 16 with
16.
hope.
Amazing. So gain a hope, and so everybody, like, you're able to kind of psionically stabilize like people, and Thresher's like able to stay in there. The captain is
Do I understand that that's happening? That there's psionic forces? Like, I understand that she has psionic powers. Do I
yeah,
understand
you can
that it's
feel
okay.
yeah, you feel, I don't know, describe what it would feel like.
I think it's like a warm current of wind that suddenly solidifies under you. It kind of braces your shoulders. For you, I think it goes around your ankles, as well as where your elbows are as you're holding them up. For Thresher, he feels them primarily also at his shoulders, and where his head is at, because he needs a stable field of view. I'm concentrating on all of this at once. You see my eyes darting wildly around as sweat breaks once again from my temples, and you see me wipe what looks to be weirdly like a trickle of red from my eye.
So you are able to do that to everyone except for Jean. So with that roll, Gene, you kind of fall through the air and your agronoid body kind of loses balance and rolls and tumbles and falls, and the full weight of your body falls against Thresher. And you kind of hit him and he's like over. And so what this does is mash on the throttle. And so now you're kind of careening forward and you hear, Captain! And then...
My bad.
And then as you hear her call out Captain, you can tell she's turned. So now you're kind of past. She's turned and some of those other things are shooting at you. And all of a sudden, you hear, ah! And you can tell that Kip has been, like, underneath, has been hit. You get, you can see from over there, you're kind of like over, but there's readouts to, alerts that the gunnery nest has been hit. There are other alerts saying the hull is being compromised and different things like that. All the while you guys are coming through, there's like a mountainous range, this massive ship hits the ground and comes back up. You're now you've gone pretty much miles past all the fighting. But it's like such a big ship and you were going at such a speed that you've gotten very far away, but it is careening. It's like you kind of stop. You go through this plateau. You kind of stop at this mountain range, and you kind of go down a little more until you come to a stop. You're carving basically a valley through this mountain range. Then you come to a stop, and everyone is jostled. Everyone is shaken up. Captain, what do you see? How do you feel in this moment?
I am the hell out of my chair, like immediately, trying to assess what's going on. I need to see the state of the bridge. Like, are there fires? Is there smoke? And like, is the engine on?
The engine is not on. There are small fire. There is smoke. All of these things. It's intact but trashed. Like, you can tell that she held her own, but it's bad. And Thresher is like slumped over. Gene, after hitting him, kind of rolled to the front of the bridge, and Thresher is just over. You can see there's blood coming out of his ear, and he is not moving over the controls. There's all sorts of alarms, but a lot of them have stopped, as there's only backup power now. The thrusters have shut down. The ship is kind of in a stasis where only certain necessary functions are happening.
Okay. I yell out for everybody on the bridge. So I'm immediately looking, Thresher, Jean, Princess. Like, I want answers. I want to know that they're either conscious or unconscious so I can start making decisions.
Alive, uninjured.
Functional.
Nothing from Thresher. Jean, can you get Thresher off that console?
Affirmative.
We need to get Kip. I heard her.
Go down to the gunnery bay. Come back here as quickly as you can. Let me know what's going on. The gunnery bay is on the belly of the ship, right? Which we just skid through the... So, okay, that's in the back of my head. Get down there if you can.
But it's on the bottom, but to the side. It's not like a thing.
Didn't land on...
It would be too easy to pick off. So in the design of the ship, she's in the bottom, but the guns shoot out from the sides. It's not like a, you know what I mean? Like a rounded thing. Yeah.
Okay. I can get
She's
to the
got
hatch,
like a little
though, right?
galley where she can go to one side and shoot and go to the other side and shoot. She can snipe back and forth in there.
Before she goes down there, I grab her by the shoulder and I say, you see anything that looks like it's about to explode, you turn around. You hear me?
Understood.
Good. Go.
Do you go?
Yes, I make like hell for the hatchets. Trying to find
so
her. Kip!
You go down you open the hatch, you go down this, and you see the guns here, and you see over there, and like it's almost a catwalk, like a small, so she can get to either side of the ship and use the guns.
She wasn't built it.
She is, the backside has been blown out. And so you can see actually when you go down and look and peer through the hatch and go down, you see grass and dirt from outside. And on this platform, you see Kip's body lying there, charred. Her leg is in a very weird position, an unnatural position. You can't see her face, but you can see through under the platform has, it's like a stair, it kind of has click, 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 it's metal, but it has holes, and you can see blood kind of like dripping down.
Immediate scan. Is anything about to blow up here?
Give me a roll, give me a instinct roll.
13 with fear.
I'll take that fear, and nothing seems to be about to blow up.
Good. I run straight over to Kip. Kip, are you with me? I'm gonna try and turn her face. I'm looking for a pulse, breath, anything.
Okay. You turn her over, and the side of her face is just like blown. Like you can see flesh kind of hanging down. Her face is, this part of it is gone. You can actually see jawbone right here. She's not breathing, and you check her for any signs of life, and you find none.
I think as soon as I turn her face, it's not the first time I've seen someone in this condition. I kind of know, but I check anyway. Just the typical, just hanging on to that thin, fraying bit of hope. And as soon as I don't get a pulse, I don't get breath, I don't get anything. I know, I stagger back. Is there anything on her, like a badge or anything, or like anything that she would carry on her that she loved?
Her pulse rifle, her gun that she called Papa. You know, she went nowhere without it, and that is like her most prized possession. Other than that, her uniform is basically rudimentary.
I'm so sorry. We'll take care of Papa. I'll gingerly lift the pulse rifle and be like, we're getting you back to Captain Fray at least. Shit. And I'm gonna just suck it all in and just book it back up the hatch.
You come back up the hatch with Papa. You lift the hatch open as you see her.
Make eye contact.
I see the rifle, and just all expression, it's gone. It is flat mask of a guy who has seen a lot. And he takes it in for a second and almost completely ignores it. I am over with Jean trying to get Thresher off of the controls.
Is he alive?
Is he?
Give me a knowledge roll.
That is a 17 with hope.
You don't sense any life, any breath. You try and feel for a pulse. You don't feel one. And you keep, and then there's just, it's thready and it's small, and and he is like bleeding from the ear. Where Jean hit him, there's like indentation in his skull. And so he is, I mean, if there's barely above death, this is where he is.
Do I have any indication that this ship is unsafe?
Should I?
Yes,
Yes. That's my primary concern.
Great. You can, yeah.
Jean, what does this ship look like? Do we have time?
Got a, so like a knowledge roll.
Yes.
Yeah. 16 with hope.
Great. So take that hope, and a 16 works. You realize that there's no immediate danger. The ship is run with Calum, and so there's no gasoline or anything kind of leaking out that's flammable. All the fires are kind of self-contained, and as soon as the ship itself senses a lot of them, there's like a fire extinguishing retardant kind of thing that sprays those out. And so in a few minutes, sprinklers, and so everything is in a safe order, but there's water dripping, there is smoke still. You know, you feel it stinging in your lungs, your bodies are full of adrenaline, and it's kind of starting to go away, and so you have that kind of headache and that kind of discombobulation that comes with going through trauma. And so you have Thresher there, but the ship is okay.
As soon as I hear that, I come down a little bit, quiet for a second, looking around. I shake my head and I say, Jean, is there anything approaching us outside the ship? Can you sense any life forms?
Jean's still for a moment. What powers him, the K drive, is the same thing that powers the ship, so the two of us kind of have almost like a connection. And as the sprinklers turn on, it's almost as if artificial tears are falling down his face. Of course, they're not real tears, so he pulls himself together. Scanning.
Give me an instinct roll. Yeah. Okay.
That is a 6 + 7. 13 with fear.
With fear, okay. You do your rudimentary scans. There are no nearby aggressive energies.
Captain, we are alone for the time being.
All right.
Everyone just kind of looks to you.
I look at the princess and I hold out my hand.
I gingerly place the pulse rifle, Papa.
I sling it over my back.
I know this is my fault.
I don't acknowledge it. I'm not in that mode. So I just let it slide over me. And Princess, Jean, I want you to help me get Thresher out of this ship. I don't want to be in here any more than we need to, and we need to see what's going on outside.
Aye, Captain.
Affirmative.
So you know that you have kind of there's no medic on the ship, but there are certain,
There's a med bay, right?
There's a bay, yes. And so you have, in case of emergency, would be a body bag. But in this body bag, if you put someone in it, there's a read on it. There's a small screen that will give, and there's different sensors to give vitals and different kinds of, and to help sustain and support. There's a steady stream of oxygen. This does not last a long time, but if you needed to, you know that you could put Thresher in one of these, and until you can find help or anything else that his life would be. He'd be basically on life support. He's basically in a coma right now.
How long does it last?
Give me a roll. Knowledge.
I hate to tell you this.
It's a crit.
It's a crit.
It's a crit. Yeah, so you are fairly aware that it would take that. You know that the body bags that you normally carry on the ship can last up to 30 cycles. As you look at this one, you can see that it's been on the ship a while. It is not like a newer one, so you know that it would probably be less than 30 cycles. You have that knowledge, but you also know that if you put him in this, he would be safe and his life would be sustained for a period of time. But unfortunately, you're just unable to be able to specifically say. It should be 30 days is the max, but this one does not look like, it's relatively new.
Okay. Let's get Thresher suited up in this, and Gene, take some of this scrap. Let's make a gurney, and let's get him off.
Okay.
I'm there to help, but we're working together.
Okay.
Are we trying to lift him into the...
We're gonna get him off the console and then put him in the bag, and then we gotta slide him off the ship.
You got it. I think I'll be able to help with that. Let me know when you need me to lift him up.
Okay. With the three of you working together, you're able to do it pretty easily. You manage, and he just kind of doesn't even make a noise. He just like slumps over into the thing. He's completely incoherent. And you zip it up, and you're able to, where did you say you wanted to take
I just want to get him off the ship. I'm expecting that plenty of people saw where the ship went down, and there'll be scavengers, if not actual legitimate hostile parties on the way. So I'm getting us out of here.
Okay. So you want to just start with the three of you and Thresher and do what exactly? Sorry.
We're gonna, so we'll take him, we'll put him on a piece of metal, some kind of like either, plating that came off the wall, just something that makes it easy to slide this extremely heavy person out. Plus, I'm assuming that the princess's psionic power is helping a little bit telekinetically.
If I may, I'd like to, as we make our way off the ship, I'd like to try and use my experience as a trained psionic to make sure that even as we're lifting and bringing Thresher along with us, we don't leave tracks.
Okay. Give me a roll for that then.
Woo. That would be this plus the experience.
Yes.
13 with fear.
Okay. So you are able to manipulate it, but as soon as you start to do it, you get a little more psionic shock, and you feel like your powers here are working, but not as you normally have known them to work. In this moment, anyway, you're unable to kind of levitate him or do anything like that.
Do I sense the affliction? Is it nearby?
You do sense the affliction here. Very intangibly, very small, but it is...
You are certain there's nothing living nearby?
Not certain. My scanning can only go so far without the ship's help.
As you walk around the ship and the cargo bay door has opened, and the ship is catty-cornered on, not like a cliff face, but like it kind of goes down a little bit. And you've come from up above, and as you look down into the valley, you can see a small village or settlement way down in the distance. So do you want to do anything else with anybody else on the ship?
I'm going to go see Kip eventually.
Okay.
But priority always goes to the living.
Okay.
So I am going to... Is Thresher secure outside the ship?
Thresher is secure.
Okay, Thresher's secure outside the ship. As long as he's stable, I'll turn back to the princess and Jean, and I say, make your way back on the ship. Find what you can to get as many supplies as we can carry. I don't want to stay here. I don't think it's a good idea. We need to find Thresher some medical help as soon as possible, and I don't see any other lights than right there. And I point down in the valley. So either they're going to shoot at us, like everybody else on this planet seems to do, or they're going to help us. But we can't stay here. You have 10 minutes.
Understood.
As they do that, from the bag, you hear, and all the little small instrumentation starts to beep, 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 beep. And you know that this is like he's starting to go into cardiac arrest. What do you want to do?
I mean, I have field medical training, and I run over and start pressing whatever buttons on the bag to look to see, like, is he defibrillating? Like,
Yeah.
what's the bag telling me?
The bag's telling you it's starting to open itself, and as it does, he's kind of coming back to consciousness a little bit. And he opens his eyes and, Captain, and like blood is starting to come out of his nose, and he's just starting, and there's like a small seizure starts to happen. He is like on the brink. He grabs your shoulder.
I grab his hand.
Captain. I would follow you anywhere.
You did, buddy.
And he knows, and you can even see his chest is heaving. He's trying to cling to breath.
Captain. Captain.
And his hand just falls off of your shoulder. And he kind of like goes limp. And even the instrumentation on this bag shows a flat line. And you know you've lost Thresher at this point.
I take a second. I just kind of keep that arm. I'm not really in a rush anymore. It all kind of feels very flat, like the reading on the bag. And there's not a lot of energy. I don't really feel like doing too much except staying right there. I can hear them clanging around on the ship in the background. And I just stay for a while. And that's it. I just sit there.
Okay. As you sit there beside Thresher's body, the sun kind of goes on its way, and 2 moons start to rise, and night is beginning to fall. Do you want to make any other movements or arrangements now?
Before we come back from the ship, though, I think I kind of exit out, peek my head out, and I kind of see you taking a moment with Thresher, and even I can see from here it's not good, and he's gone. I'm gonna duck back in. Gene?
Gene's part of his programming is a gene unit for the ship. All of the uniforms that the crew members are wearing, with the exception of the princess who doesn't have one, have a small life detector with them, as well as navigation within the confines of the ship. So once that light goes out, Gene knows before she tells him that Thresher's gone, but he stands there, emotionless. Yes, Princess.
I'll apologize properly later, but I need you to listen to me. The danger's far from over, and I know you know that. We may not see it coming in time, but if we go and we find civilization, we find the people who live here on this not-so-uninhabited planet, I need you to keep up a scan. And you tell me if you find anything abnormal, signs of disease, elevated heart rate, erratic EKG. You're looking for bloodshot eyes, red speckles on their being, their skin, their eyes. I need you to tell me immediately.
Is this task, like going onto this planet, necessary?
Critical.
Whatever you think is best, Princess.
Thank you, Jean.
Jean, can you give me a knowledge roll, please?
That is a 20 with fear.
Wonderful. So, as you have gathered the things and you've moved about the cabin, you kind of do your checks on the engineering, and you know that there are a few repairs that could possibly be done to get the ship up and running again. It might take some time and definitely some resources that you do not have or not available on the ship itself, but you know that you're kind of making a mental list of some things that you could do to get the Audacity up and running and get back up into the stars again.
Okay.
So with that knowledge, would you want to share that with anyone, or?
Yeah, can I do another knowledge roll, but use a hope to add my gene unit experience to get a precise date or time estimate?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to be as helpful as possible.
Love it.
That's pretty low, but so that'd be 7 plus 3, 10, 11. So 11 with hope.
Okay. You don't really know, given what resources you need. You're not sure if you can find them in the surrounding hillside, in the settlement. You don't know if that settlement's gonna, or you have to explore more to get the things that you would need. But you know that you can possibly get the ship into a situation where it's secured. But there are definitely some gashes and different plates that have fallen that need repair. Internally, there's a few different things that you would know need to be tended to before you can take flight again. You also get a reading that the K drive is still intact and it is continuing to charge, as is your drive as well.
That's the most important part. Gotcha. Not knowing things is difficult for Gene to handle, but yeah, he'll tend to the crew. Captain, Princess, after my analysis of the ship, I think it could be repaired. I am uncertain of how long it would take and whether or not the resources are available on this planet or where we have crash landed, but it's a possibility. She's alive.
Did you come out to where, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
And I just kind of say the word repaired and chew on it. Repaired. Takes a couple seconds, but I come out of it. I put Thresher's hand down on him. All right. Repaired. Repaired. We need to make camp. I'm not taking us anywhere on this planet when it's dark. You know anything about the cycle of how many hours until the sun comes up?
And do knowledge roll for that.
Yes, please.
I got a 15 with fear.
Great. You know that it would be it's like cycles regularly, like the half cycle, the half day. Gotcha. It would have taken you to get down here. That it would take a full cycle for the Kessamar to arise again. And as you are at the cargo bay and Thresher is there kind of on the outside of it on the ground, and everyone's standing around and the two moons have risen. They cast a light over plains and you see the settlement down there, and you are in a mountainous region. You see it would be quite a ways to get to the settlement, and you've come down this mountain, and it's like you've made quite an impact.
Is there something defensible that I can see in the mountain where it might be easy to hold up and keep watch that's away from the ship?
Away from the ship. Give me an instinct roll.
It's a 17 with fear.
Okay. I'm going to use these. I
have 6 hope
It
in
is
front of me.
horrifying to look up and see like a near roll. Fear.
You look with that roll. You look around, and as the moons come up and reflect, you can see kind of a cleft, maybe 100 yards away from the ship, and you can. It looks like it might be like, people coming down and seeing the ship. You would be tucked in another kind of area in another hollow, sort of. And it looks to be the makings of what would be a cave, but you're not sure from this point. But you definitely, that looks like a good option if you want to not stay with the ship.
Yeah,
right now.
I do not want to stay with the ship. If there's one thing I know about every creature in the galaxy, it's that it's curious. So I will turn to them and I say, I point out the cave. I say, that right there, that's where we're going to spend the night. Bring our supplies over there. Jean, I want you to take Thresher there as well. I have some business on the ship.
Jean looks over at the cave. That, are you sure?
It's better than the ship. You know it as well as I do.
Affirmative. Jean moves to grab Thresher and the supplies.
Okay. You're easily kind of able to take Thresher and the supplies. And Princess, how are you feeling right now? What are you thinking?
I'm trying to shut down the part of me that feels immensely guilty for what's happened here, because nothing prepared me to lose 2 people as soon as we investigated. But that's for later. Right now, focus on survival. Just as before, I'm making sure I'm erasing any tracks that we're leaving behind. Just as the captain said, don't need anyone following us. So as we make it over to the cave, I'm going to try and erase footprints, anything disrupted, shrubbage, and I'm going to try and even use my psionics to try and move some more obfuscating plants over the surface of the cave to make sure that even if someone does happen this way, they don't immediately see us taking residence.
Okay. All right. You all are able to do that. You kind of come to the cave. It looks to be almost perfect, like abandoned. There's nothing, like no life forms that you sense in it. It also it comes in down and opens up into, maybe it's rocky and it's dark. You would have, a rudimentary light source that kind of emits from you, or you can turn on, and you go in, and it seems like it's a damp, dank, circular area of about 30 feet by 30 feet. And you're able to kind of put Thresher down, and you are able to just be in there. And the princess has kind of, put shrubbery and different things like that. You still are able to know where it is. But as we do that, we cut back to you. And what are you doing now?
So I walk up to the ship. I know where the gunnery hatch is on the outside, and I can see that it's broken open. So I'm not going to re-enter the ship to go down to the gunnery hatch. But I walk over to where Kip is, and
so as you do that, when you walk in, whereas she came down from the top hatch to look in, you are now under and kind of peeking up through, and you can see the way that the princess has left her.
you can see her leg is kind of at an awkward angle and her arm is down and she's resting, but her hair is matted too, and the blood has dripped down, and it's kind of her hair in the bun is like sticky and matted, and she's laying there kind of lifeless about 15 feet away from you.
Can I get up in there? Is there enough
You
room?
can, yeah. You have to kind of maneuver and, but yeah, you can get up right up in there with her.
Okay. I get up in there real careful. I've got the rifle, her rifle still slung across my back, and I get up there and do my best to put her back in order. The arm over here, kind of put it on her chest. I'm no stranger to blood and gore. I have no problem arranging her leg and putting it back to where it looks a little bit more like Kip. And I take a seat next to her, because she's looking out, right? 'Cause she was shooting out.
Mhm.
And so it's just kind of like looking out that way. And I look over and I say, we always kind of knew it, didn't we? And then I close my eyes and lay back and just sit and wait until I'm ready. After a little while, I feel that kind of falling feeling that says maybe I dozed for a second. And I take from the plasma cartridge, this is like a Cosmocore tradition. From the plasma cartridge, you take one bullet, we'll call it a bullet out, and I wrap her hand in it. And put the rest of the cartridge back in the rifle, sling it over my back, give her a salute, and head to the cave.
Okay, so you're able to do that. You leave her there, and you make your way to the cave, and you're able to find it again. And you come in, and Jean and the princess and Thresher's body is there in the cave.
In the cave, Jean handles emotions by working, so he's gonna, after everything's set up as best he can, he immediately takes a rock and starts scratching something into the side of the wall. The princess can see him doing this. She takes a closer look. Jean's mapping out everything he got from the crash landing, everything the captain described, so like where we entered, where the battle was, where that settlement is, where this cliff is, where the ship is, to create some sort of a map so we can navigate and be useful.
It's very good.
Thank you. No art school.
Do you know him well? Look at Thresher.
About as well as I knew every other member of the crew. He was exceptional at his purpose. That is the best compliment I have to give any life form.
It's a good one. I don't know what else to say, so I don't say anything. Similarly to Jean, as he's carving out the rest on the wall, Rho'Thera also deals with that, like she has with every other loss in battle. Training. And so in that limited space, I'm not going to try anything fancy or dangerous, but I'm going to take out my sword and just start cleaning it. The dust, the blood, cleaning.
And you come upon this and come in with the heavy heart that you have. And is there anything you'd like to do or say?
I come in, the mask is back on pretty firmly. And I start splitting up the watch. I'll take first, Jean, you're second, Princess, you're third. In the morning we move as soon as we get light.
Aye, Captain.
Affirmative.
So As we come back, Jean is still working on his map. And the princess is cleaning her sword. And the captain starts to kind of walk up out to the front of the cave. He has Papa and starts to look out down upon the Valley of Synthara. And that is where we will leave this episode. Wow!
Okay.
That was heavy.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Welcome to Synthara.
Yeah, Synthara sucks.
This is great. This was awesome. Greg got the
Not a
t-shirt.
top 10 vacation destination.
Should not put it on my flight list.
I'm Matt Lowe.
I'm Joe Zija.
I'm Crystal Lee.
I'm Samuel Van Helsing.
And this has been Rigamaroll.